So, I just got done watching the president's town hall event on guns in America on CNN. I taped it and watched it today, and I think I'll just give you my thoughts on what I saw. Okay, so as I'm watching it, I'm instantly reminded of the primetime speech address that he had given after the San Bernardino shooting. That address was, of course, about terrorism, ISIS, and Islamophobia. And I had the same problems with the town hall meeting that I had with the speech. And then it was elegant. It hit a lot of points. It really, at the end, it kind of just felt like it went nowhere. In the sense that, what is his plan? His plans hasn't seemed to change. It's a lot of the same information repeated. And that, like I said, with the speech he gave on ISIS and Islamophobia and all that, it's the same points brought back up that he'd been saying at press conferences and whatnot. And at the town hall meeting, they addressed the issues of gun violence and deaths and suicides. And I think he handled himself pretty well on it, but it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. It reminds me kind of like the Godzilla movies, the last two that we had that were made in the United States. The one with Matthew Broderick, which was terrible, and the last one, which was better than that one, but still, there wasn't really much there. You know, it's like, it's a weird metaphor, but I guess have some fun with this. The last Godzilla movie, right? We're all hyped up for that one. And you don't see a lot of Godzilla in that. And by Godzilla, well, I guess I'll make the metaphor for policy changes and what we're going to do. I'm actually more pissed at the last Godzilla movie that I think about it. I mean, kill off Bryan Cranston. Where the fuck's Godzilla most of the time? You know, they show Godzilla, and he'd be attacking a city or something. And like, oh yeah, shit's gonna go down. And then they clip to, like, the people on the ground. It's like, I don't want to see the fucking people on the ground. I came here to see fucking Godzilla destroy shit. More Godzilla. And with this town hall meeting, which was heavily hyped, like a fucking Godzilla movie, we got nothing new. We got nothing. This is what I'm going to do this year. It's how I got my last year. And he's talking about people bringing up, why can't you pressure Congress? And it's the same thing. The Congress, they're not going to do it. But he's saying, well, they're being unreasonable. It's like they're an opposing party that's not going to go with your ideas. We already know this. So I guess the real question is he going to use executive orders? I don't recall that coming up. I could have remembered it wrong because I did tune out a lot during the town hall meeting when I was watching it. But like I said, it was good. The way he addressed everything was pretty good, and it's not like it was like a 2-hour infomercial for how great President Obama is and how great it would be if we pushed forward with his laws and whatnot. I mean, you had the wife of Chris Kyle there, and she's still pro-gun. You had the police chief, who was pretty much said that citizens should arm themselves. And you had, and this one was the big one for me, is you had a woman who was raped and became a gun advocate. She believes in guns to protect herself. So what happened to her back then didn't happen to her in the future. And like I said, the NRA, of course, was not there, which is good. I mean, yeah, they were invited and they decided they would show up, but I think that would have just made it even worse if they were there. I like to think of myself as pro-Second Amendment, for gun rights, but I don't like the NRA. Why are they, whenever there's something about guns, they got to be the ones to come in? Like, there's no other organization that's pro-Second Amendment or gun rights that can talk about that. We got to go to the NRA. Why? and especially with who they've got running it now. Lapierre, I don't know, is he still the vice president of the day, elected to be president? But I can't stand that prick. It's a whining little shit. And I think it was after Sandy Hook where shit's going to come his way because he's the NRA. Now, what does he do? He just puts the blame somewhere else. It's Hollywood movies and they don't put out values. And it's like, fuck off. You're going to bitch and moan because you're afraid someone's going to take away your constitutional rights, and your suggestion to solve the problem is to take away someone else's constitutional rights. Tell people what they can and can't do in the movies. And I get there's a feud between the NRA and some of the people in Hollywood. And the people in Hollywood, a lot of them, they're talking about how they're against gun violence, and then you have a movie where they shoot 300 people. But still, it's like, which one's really going to kill people? If we didn't have one or the other. Didn't have movies, you'd still have guns. You'd probably still have problems. Didn't have guns, you can watch any goddamn movie you want, play any violent video game you want, and it doesn't matter how it's affecting you in your head because you wouldn't have a gun to go and shoot people. Like I said, they're just selling out someone else's rights to protect theirs. So fuck off with the NRA on that. So, like I said, it didn't really seem like anything new with the town hall meeting. Honestly, with the executive orders, I think that's the way President Obama's going to have to go. People keep hammering him, well, why can't you run it through the Congress? We already know the answer to that. The Congress is not going to pass it. It's a Republican-led Congress. They're not into that. They don't want to make these changes. It's not going to happen. So the real question comes next. Is he going to use the executive orders to make these changes? And can he do that? Let's just call it an is. Either that, or we're going to have to think about it the next election. What do we want? You want to put Democrats in and push forward with more regulation on guns, or you go with the Republicans if you don't want that. So, did it, one thing, did it have any effect on my opinions on guns? Well, I did take in a lot of information, but I don't think I'm going to be buying one anytime soon. But, it's one of those things. You say you don't got a gun or anything to protect your house, and you get that worry, okay, now people know they can roll me over. But I think one of the biggest reasons I don't own a gun is the fear that if I went to work and I left the gun in my house, or I left it in my truck, some asshole would steal it, and then they would go out and commit a crime. So my gun is used to kill someone, and that's kind of a dark thought there. I mean, not like if it was someone trying to jump me, I'd perfectly use the gun to kill them. But for them to use it on someone else, to use my gun to kill someone, that doesn't sit well with me. And then, in a sense, I'm held responsible for something I didn't do. Killing someone. I mean, someone else killed someone with my gun. I'm responsible in some senses because I didn't lock the gun or hide it in a good place, but it's like, he's the one that pulled the trigger. But I'm going to be in as much shit as he is. Yeah. One thing I was surprised they didn't bring up those knuckleheads in Oregon. That seems like that would be relevant to the conversation. The armed protesters. I think most people that it's this weird thing. If we ignore them, they will go away. Because the more they do get on TV, the less and less anyone listens to them. Yeah. That's really all I have to say on that. So, what did you think of the town hall meeting. Did you get anything out of it? Did it change your opinion? Give you an opinion? Just put them in the opinion comment section below.